the line 4 then, as I said, it's about externalizing what has been gathered or learned, externalizing. So they are then those that the purpose then of a line 4 is to help build communities, be part of a community, to share and spread the ideas of things that they have learned. Human design reveals who you are energetically and who you came here to be. I'm Dana, human design specialist.
And I'm Haley, the human design newbie. Listen in as we explore how leaning into your authentic self is your ultimate path to success. Welcome to the Human Design High podcast. Let's get into it.
Hello, Haley. How are you today?
Hello.
Good to see you again. Another day, another...
Well, the phrase is dollar.
I know, but I don't think that's apropos. Never mind. We're going to skip that. So you have come off of another busy weekend of socializing, correct?
Yes.
Got to see someone from back home?
Yes, Hunter and Lexi. Yes.
Hunter would be your bonus brother.
Yeah.
I can never think of what to say. I'm like, he's not adopted.
I know.
He's a bonus son. He's my bonus son.
It's the same thing when people ask me if I have any siblings. I'm like, well, I technically have a younger brother, but then I also have another kind of brother. So it's like, I don't know how.
He's almost like a twin because we're like the same age.
We're like a month apart.
A year apart, I said. Yeah, a month apart. That's more accurate. That makes somebody closer to a twin.
Yeah.
Than being a year apart in ages. Yes, so Hunter was a addition to our family when he was
middle
about
school?
12 or 13. Yeah. Who came and semi-lived with us for middle school, high school years as his father had passed away and he had his grandmother, but you guys were close in age and all went to school. Plus he'd already, his father was a good friend of ours and he was
over before that, all the time.
He was in the habit of coming to our house because he came over here every day after school because he would.
Did he?
You don't remember? He would ride the bus. Did you guys ride the bus? Didn't you ride the bus back then? Yeah. He would ride the bus home with you guys here to my house, to our house. It's not just my house. And then when his dad owned a record store, when his dad would close the store at the end of the day, he would come pick him up and usually talk to me for about an hour because his dad was the best. Just one of the most informative. Gosh, I don't have his birth information. I got to find that out. I wonder what his design was, but just somebody just knew everything about anything about everything. He just had so much information and such a good heart and passed away prematurely. And then Hunter came and split his time between our house during the school week and his grandmother's house. And so he is the same age as you and shares a birthday he has the birthday that is very popular in I guess our family.
It's our family. Yeah.
So we have February 8th. My mother was born on February 8th. Hunter was born February 8th. Lakeland, cousin, February 8th. Steve, your uncle, your dad's brother, February 8th. And I always feel like there's one more I'm missing.
I think that's it, though.
Yeah. So there's a lot of 2343s in the family. Because Lakeland has it, the 2343 is going to be in her sun and earth placement. I can't remember which way it is, but then it changes because of the year, time, day.
Because Ian also has that, right?
He does, and he's born in May.
Yeah.
So interesting. But anyways, so Hunter was in Colorado.
Yes. So it was funny. So they flew into Denver. Yes.
Baby.
I said Hunter and Lexi already.
I did not hear Lexi.
Listener, I said Hunter and Lexi. Yeah, I said it when I first asked who would come. I was like, Hunter and Lexi.
I've never said listener before. I was listening to Smartless and Jason Bateman, who I absolutely adore. It's like listener.
But so
maybe it works for him, might not work for me. But anyways, go ahead.
They flew into Denver and landed in Denver basically like before 7 a.m. I think.
Oh my God. I think he did say took the red eye both ways.
Yeah, both ways they took the red eye. He texted me so they came out Friday. He texted me Thursday at like 9 o'clock our time. So like 11 o'clock already his time. He's like, alarm set for 3:30 a.m. See y'all tomorrow. I was like, oof, LOL. So they had a long day. They explored Denver Friday during the day and then came down to the Springs after we were done with work. But it was funny. We went to this taco place downtown, which was really good. And he was like asking these just kind of like random questions. And Lexi's like, what are you doing, interviewing them? And I was like, no. I love the questions.
He could have been interviewed. Well, he does ask a lot. He is very questioning mind.
Yeah, but he's like, no, I'm just trying to make conversation.
Yeah, it was, it was good to see you send us some Snapchats and stuff that you guys were together. I always get a little jealous. It's not jealous. I just wish I could be there.
I think it's FOMO.
There you go. I don't have a fear of missing out. I'm just missing out.
So you have Mo.
Just Mo. Just missing out. I just got Mo. Excuse me. So I saw you guys went to Red Rocks. I was wondering.
No, we went to Garden of the Gods.
I'm sorry.
I do the same thing.
Red Rocks, because the Red Rocks, they look like Red Rocks.
I do the same thing.
Garden of the Gods, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was the day you sent me a message saying that Bailey was exhausted from walking. Can you guys walk a lot? Is that?
I mean, yeah, we did take her with us.
Or is that the time before you went?
I don't know, honestly.
Your dad's like, are they getting tired of Garden of the Gods yet? Because everybody wants to go. Like, that's pretty cool because
it is cool.
Depending on the day and time of day, it's like whether it's kind of cloudy or sunny or if it's late in the day, early in the day, it looks so different every time.
I know.
You go.
It was a little more overcast and not quite as hot. So it was not, it was nicer than the week before we'd gone. But it was interesting, like you said, it looks so different. This time when we went, I didn't realize how there's like the way that we come into it. There's this like ridge that is very bleached. It's like this whole rock ridge. It's very bleached. And then it's so stark next to the towering red. They're not pillars. They're like,
I don't know what they're called. They're
slices.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we did that. And then, went to a lunch somewhere. And then I went to see Boy Genius at Red Rocks.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard of them.
I'm not familiar either.
But that's one thing I like to do some days. See a show there. That'd be good. But I have a nice segue here because everybody's like, can we get on with the show?
Maybe they want more.
Well,
what's your segue?
Hunter is a 2-4 profile. And today we're talking about the line 4.
Yes.
So
there you go.
Keep him in mind. Also, Lakeland is a 2-4 profile. Of course, your mother is a 4-1. Your Aunt Nancy is a 4-1. Us 4s, let me tell you, we like people. We like our people, I should say. But so I would think for purposes of the line 4, I think when I think of a line 4, even though I'm a line 4, when most people think of a line 4, I believe they're thinking more of somebody like Hunter or Lakeland, in the sense that these are people that can come across as extroverted, I think, because I would say Hunter appears and Lakeland appears as a more extroverted person because they do genuinely seem to enjoy connecting with people. Right.
And they are what was their profiles again? 2-4?
2-4.
So that's interesting comparing it to you, who is the 4-1.
Yeah, there is a distinction. Because that 2 part of them, yeah, they're kind of introvert, extrovert. 4-1 is not normal. There's not as many 4-1s. And then there's also, so there's a 1-4. There is the 4-1, the 4-6. Oh, excuse me. I messed it up again. Okay. So there's the 1-4. Okay. There's a 2-4. 4-1. 4-6.
Okay.
Those are all your 4s. So, okay. So we talk, okay. So the extroverted part of it. Okay. So the line 4 in traditional human design is called do you remember?
No.
Sorry. I've got to include that video of your
Go for it.
You just literally head up, mouth open, staring at the ceiling.
Wall.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Opportunist.
Oh, okay.
Because it's another one of those like, God, these people sound horrible.
I know.
They're investigating, they're hermiting,
they're martyring.
Now they're opportunists. Good Lord. Then they're heretics. The only one that sounds good is the role model. The line 6 is like, yes, I know.
Yes.
So the opportunist, the line 4 is known as the opportunist, and then in quantum as stabilizer.
That's better than opportunist.
It is. And it's a very apt description of the line 4 at its core, because it is a very stabilizing energy. So in the house analogy that we've used, do you remember what the line 4 is?
It is the second floor. It is the base of the second floor.
That's right. It is the foundation of the second floor, because again, it is the first part of the upper trigram. So the lower trigram is the line 1. And so line 1 and line 4 are what they call harmonic lines. They tend to, there's not a whole lot of innate tension when they're paired together. Because when you're looking at profile, each profile is kind of an inner outer expression in a way, because it has a mix of these lines. And so, the 1-3 would be the one that's very self-focused and very much own process, because it's both in the lower trigram. But pretty much all the other profiles have a mixture of a upper and lower type thing. So these being both foundational lines, line 4 and line 1, can be a 1-4 profile or 4-1 profile. There's not a whole lot of tension in those lines, because they're both going to be about seeking foundations. Where the line 4 differs, so if we're thinking about the upper trigram, if we were looking at the whole hexagram, this would be where the progression goes towards taking the information, the experience, everything that's been learned, and taking it out into the world. It's an outer expression of whatever that gate is that we're talking about, which I just realized, because we just jumped right in here, that this is a separate episode in the line series. So forgot the whole part about what is profile lines. So
it's okay.
It's okay. We're basically talking about, if you are looking at the human design chart, your body graph for the first time, you're seeing your numbers, you see that each on the right and on the left, the column with all the numbers represents all the different gates within the human design body graph. Each one of those gates are a theme, an archetype of the human experience, and then the point number next to it is the line expression. Each gate has 6 lines associated with it. That is a different nuance. We picked that word up in the last episode.
We finally found it.
A flavor, a nuance expression of that gate. So if you have gate 49-1, you're going to probably, if you have it in line 1, let's say, you're going to you're going to have a different expression than someone who has gate 49, say in the line 4 as their, sun expression. So this is really where the character that you play in life really starts to come out, because it's your type is how you interact in the world. It's the role you play, like whether you're an initiator or a responder or a guide, right? Or a reflector.
Right.
Whereas this is the character you play within that. So you could be, if you're a line 1, you'd be like a generator is a line, a 1-4 profile. There'd be someone who's going to be responding to life through investigating and then also, taking that information out to their community. So I hope that was a clear enough little. I think I've done it different every time.
I think so.
What can I say? I don't like to do things. So the line 4 then, as I said, it's about externalizing what has been gathered or learned, externalizing. So they are then those that the purpose then of a line 4 is to help build communities, be part of a community, to share and spread the ideas of things that they have learned. So they are basically, they're that beginning externalizing. So if you think about, it makes sense that it starts in the smaller community, this externalization of ideas or sharing of ideas, because it goes from the self outward. It'll then get to the line 5, which is more universalizing and, all that stuff. But so the line 4 then is about community and network. It's very important. Where the line 1 is seeking security through knowledge. Line 4 is seeking security and foundations, building foundations, learning about the world through relationships, through other people. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So as such, there is this need in a line 4 because it's foundational for stability and consistency. And they say that if you are a line 4, pretty much you are a stabilizing factor in whatever environment you're in. Because you're the person that is more steady and stabilizing force. That's just the energy that you give off. Okay. So because they are this foundational in relationships and it's this need for stability, line 4s in general can tend to be a little bit more fixed, they'll say, especially if they have if they're a 4-1 or very, very fixed, but meaning that they don't really like unexpected change. They don't like things to change too much. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at when we got off recording one of the last few times and you were telling me that Daddy just keeps changing the plans for y'all's trip out here.
He's always changed it, but that has given me a big understanding of why we would get off track a lot, is because he's a manifesting generator, line 3. I'm a generator, line 4. No, we don't operate the same, but it's okay. So the challenge then is for line 4 is to learn how to navigate the unexpected with trust and grace and ease, they'll say, to understand that, things work out. And so I've heard different ways of people explaining the line 4. I would say, they don't like change. They call it the opportunist because their opportunities come to them through the people they know and their networking, but it gives off this icky vibe, I think, because, networking became like a word that just doesn't, it seems like there's an ulterior motive, right?
Well, yeah, it's especially when you go with the traditional opportunist name, like it makes me think of like people in DC. It's like, because we're rewatching House of Cards right now. Presley's watching. So,
yeah.
So it's like I have that extra filter on it. It's like you say networking and opportunist, and it feels like any connection you make with someone, it's because you want something. But that's not how it actually is.
It's not how it's designed to work. Is that, the line 4 brings with it the information that it has in general, through, you know, the natural learner, the 2-4, they have their own, you know, unique process of how they do things, or, you know, they're a 1-4, or for one, they're bringing their information to those that they know. And as such, almost in a reciprocation, it is their network, their people, their community that then helps support them in their endeavors as well. So their opportunities come to them through the people they know. Their opportunities are not going to be generally from just out of the blue strangers, or really necessarily a need, like you're saying in DC, to seek opportunities. They kind of just land for them.
Right.
And if you're a line 4, you probably understand this, because you yourself may not feel like you were always, you know, trying to network or something like that. But I know for myself, I think we talked about this when we were talking about the line 1, that I don't always know why I am researching things or looking into things, but inevitably I will talk to someone and something will come up and I'll be like, oh, I have the information they need. Or I actually sometimes think, when I learn a specific thing, I might be like, I need to share this with so-and-so. And you know, I'm always thinking about it all the time. I'm always like, hey, did you know? Did you learn this? Or this is so cool. I learned this today. I'm always trying to share my information, because people are very important to line 4s. And they say that line 4s, there's some generalizations about line 4s that I don't necessarily always jive with. You know, the whole people person thing, and they're super friendly, and they're, you know, they just love people. That's true. I love my people. And the opportunist part of thing, coming through opportunities, you know, you think this is somebody, as I said earlier, really extroverted, right? That is true. But I have not, you know, and this may just be the way it's playing out for me as being the 4-1, needing more introspective time. But I have connections, I guess, but my circle, my people, is very small, you know, because a line 4 is someone that doesn't necessarily themselves change a lot, because they're not really meant to change a lot. They're like a stabilizing force. So they're not like a line 3 who's always going to be experimenting and trying new things. And, you know, line 4s are like.
Haven't you like likened it to a tree before?
Well, that's
or was that more in general?
Specifically, no, that's more specifically to a 4-1, because of that double.
Gotcha. Double foundation
thing. Yeah. And it's different, because the 4-1 is a juxtaposition cross. I think, you know, we've talked about that, and it's too much to go into, I think, for the 4-1, and probably not applicable to most people, because it's not that many 4-1s. It's just not in my circle. There's a few I know, but yeah, they say the 4-1's like an oak tree. It's very solid. It may bend a little, but not much.
Right.
But so line 4s are, because they are a stabilizing factor, and they're meant to be that in any group that they're in. Yeah, there's not necessarily a lot of change in the line 4 aspects of somebody. And so,
to me, makes sense. You don't want your foundation to be shifting.
No. They even said that in the Bible. Don't build your house on sand. Okay. So back to the relationship thing. So as I said, they, you know, the line 1s is investigating how life works. Their foundation, you know, is through gathering knowledge. And for line 4s, it's through investigating relationships and, you know, impacting those around them. So there's an inherent insecurity they talk about in the line 4. It's also in the line 1, because I think we talked about it, that if you're always looking for knowledge, or you're looking for, if you are the foundation, what you're kind of afraid of is there not being a strong foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in line 4, that would translate specifically to relationships as well, right?
Right.
And so, I think I got sidetracked. I think I started talking about the friendly nature of the line 4. Little sidetrack. Yes, so they say that line 4s are very friendly, and I would think probably in contrast with other lines, it certainly, appears that way. And they are. I mean, because so much of their energy is about relationships, in the sense that, if their opportunities come to them through the networks, it's not just personal opportunities, it's creating opportunities. It's, being a part of something bigger than themselves. They like to have people. They're motivated by what they can bring to their community, their people. They are interested in other people, and they are friendly. I mean, I think it was one guy said, the smiling their way to success is what I heard. But it's interesting. I don't know. When I think about this, because I think about your aunt, my sister as well, because I don't know how much she resonates with a lot of this stuff. I'll have to ask her. I'll have to put her on the hot spot. But
see if she listens to this one, since we mentioned her.
Oh gosh, that's right. I forgot.
Well, last time she just happened to listen to the episode that we talked about her.
But my sister's friendly. I just know her differently than other people, because she's also very much the one part as well. We have this kind of reclusive, a little bit kind of nature of being in our own zone a lot too. But
I know, like, there's several instances where, like, me and you'll be out in public and you'll kind of just like say something to the person next to you, because we're like kind of in the same situation. And like, I would never do that.
Really?
Yeah. But you'd just be like, you'd say like just something kind of small talky, but just kind of like actually interacting with them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it does come easy of just being able to, and I don't know if it would be friendly, I guess. I don't know if I was always that way when I was younger. I grew up in a different environment than I'm in now, which was, I mean, not the whole time, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Down here in the South, certainly very friendly. Like, it's not looked upon as weird to talk to people in the store or whatever. But I think for me as a line 4, probably because it's in this conscious expression here for me, is, family is most important. I mean, a lot of people can say that, but it's really, I really do enjoy connecting with people, not on a superficial level. Like, I don't like small talk.
No, but like your boring. people, you really like to connect with them.
Yeah. And as we said, line 4s don't often change. They're not designed to. And so if you know someone in your life that has maybe been a lifelong friend, there could be a chance that they're line 4, have a lot of line 4 aspects to them, because they're the person that, even if you haven't seen them in years or talked to them, you might see them again. It's not like they're stuck and stagnant the same. It's just their energy, their stability, the core of them.
Like, you can pick up right where you left off.
Yeah, it's always going to feel the same. Like today, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a friend's birthday coming up. My friends, that we call ourselves the Zen Bitches. That's our group chat.
I forgot about that name.
we even had a t-shirt.
They got t-shirts.
That's right. My friend Susie has a screen printing business, and last time we got together, she made us t-shirts. Zen Bitches.
I love it.
So the Zen Bitches, I thought today, oh my gosh, it's time for another birthday. We get together on birthdays and stuff. And these are people that I met many years ago. Met him through yoga. And people have come and gone through our lives, but these are the people that I've kept around me. Even though we don't talk to each other that much, we're not on a daily contact or anything like that. But these are people that I will keep around me because I value them. They're my people, you know. And there was a point where there was, you know, if you've ever been in a friend group of girls, you know how it's like, at first you're like, oh, you get one or two and you're like, oh, I love this person too. Let's bring her in and let's bring this person in and all this, right? And then suddenly you're trying to get together with dinners and there's like 8-10 people you have to consult. And you're like, we got to start whittling this down.
Yeah, you mean any housewives show?
Housewives show, I know. We're not like that. But
no.
But there's many people come and gone over the years. We've known each other probably for 15, at least some of us, at least 15 years. And we've just, you know, I've just kept these women around me because, you know, they're my people. And my other friend, Tanya, I mean, I've met her when your brother was a baby. So we've been friends for like 23 years. And yeah, these, you know, that's my experiences, that if you are in my circle and, you know, I consider you my people, I will keep you until, you know, you do something that's just, you know, terrible, or you get rid of me. But I haven't really had that many happen, but
that's good.
But you look like you were going to say something.
I just said, well, that's good. Oh, no, well, I did. When you're talking about your group of girls getting together, you told me some of the conversations that happen at the dinner. Like, you guys just have a lot of fun.
We do. We have a lot of fun over the years. And it's something I always look forward to. And I mean, honestly, that's my, you know, one of my favorite things to do is to get together with the people I care about. And I don't know if that's normal for most people, if they like that, or if it's just like just a line 4 thing. But just because you're a line 4 doesn't mean that you always want to, you know, be with people and be around people and all the people. There's a little more discernment there to that. But the line 4 does love people. And that's where I think a lot of people, when they first hear about being a line 4, it kind of doesn't always resonate with them, because if you're not a line 4, I think people describe you as this, like, makes you sound like you just always want to be around people and you're always, you know, busy just doing things with people. And most line 4s I know are like, yeah, but no.
Yeah. And you've described yourself as like an introverted extrovert, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And the 4-1 would definitely be like that, because there's that line 1 aspect to it. Even, you know, a 4-6, or a 2-4, you look at a 2-4, you know, that's the ultimate to me introvert extrovert, because the hermiting line 2 and the networking line 4, it works out a little different there, because that line 4 aspect, like I said, if you're a 1-4 or a 2-4, it's your network in the people around you that are going to help you, you know, get your message out or get your talent or your gift out. Whereas I feel like the 4-1, 4-6 is more about us bringing it to them. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean, I may be wrong with that, but that's my experience. Because we're a little more aware of our relationships. That's what, you know, is driving us. Okay. So let's see. So what helps a line 4 feel more secure is knowing what's going to come next. The line 4 doesn't, and I've said this so many times before I knew I was a line 4, how much I hate limbo. I hate being in a place where I have no idea what's coming up next. What, Haley? What'd you think I said?
The limbo?
I hate the limbo too.
I was like, how many times have you had to tell people that you hate limbo?
I know how low I can go. I don't have to prove it. It's not very low. My bar is pretty high. limbo. No, the place referred to as limbo, the unknowing space.
I'm there now.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm a generator, so there's also the plateaus there, and you put the line 4 aspect. It's a very uncomfortable. The generator plateau for line 4 is going to be very uncomfortable because it's like, we don't know what's coming next, right? And so I heard someone else describe the line 4 tendency to, they say the line 4 has a tendency, especially when they're talking about jobs or relationships or what they're going to be doing next, they don't move on to the next thing until they have it, like excuse me, let me rephrase that. They won't leave a certain situation, a job, a relationship, or whatever, before they have the next thing already lined up. And
you're there right now.
Yeah. And so, that could be seen in a lot of different ways. It's like, like, especially when they say they won't leave a relationship or they won't leave a lover until, another one comes along. And they know they have somewhere else to go. That's not so much my experience. It doesn't really jive with me, but I'm okay with being alone. But job, certainly, situations still there. So somebody I heard once talk about, if you have the idea of how a line 4 likes to operate, if you think about like a monkey swinging on a vine, he's not going to let go of that vine until he has his hands on the next one. That's how he keeps moving forward. There's security in having your hands on both of them.
I got 2 hands and they're both secured.
I'm going to keep moving. That's kind of how I see the whole, like, not wanting to move on before something else. Likewise, we were talking about the lifelong friendships. If you are a line 4, line 4, a lot of times these are people that even after your romantic relationships have ended, they tend to stay friends. They can also be friends most often with potential lovers or mates before they become, involved romantically. There is that friend aspect, because if you think about it, they're networking or they're trying things out, before they move from one thing to the next. Makes sense that they would, see if this is worth making that connection. Right. Is this going to be a good connection for me? And so they would probably be a friend before they would be a lover or whatever. Okay. And likewise, they might still stay your friend even after you're not, because they're not very, well, there's not much of a line 3 aspect here. Let's say that. They're not very like throw caution to the wind types. They're stabilizing types. They do seek balance in life. They don't necessarily fear being alone. They don't fear that. They want to find that balance in life, but because I would certainly say I don't fear being alone at all. I love the people in my life, but I love just as much time being alone by myself. Yeah. Because I've heard other line 4s express kind of like they can get people fatigue, because if you think about a line 4 person out in the world, the tendency is, if they're carrying that aspect to them, that also, I think, makes them somewhat attractive to people. They do have a friendly nature about them. The energy is going to be more, if you're talking just on that energetic level, it's going to feel a little friendlier, right? Perhaps. Yeah. So if you're in a situation, I mean, it happened to me when I work in front of people. I used to wait tables. We had our beach business for years. We're always interacting with people. I had no problem talking to people, as you said, interacting with them, coworkers, whatever. It's fine. But I can be exhausted at the end of the day, because if that line 4 energy is always interacting and with people, if they're around people all the time, good God. I mean,
I feel it as a projector.
Well, for different reasons. Yeah.
But I get it. Sure. I can see it though. So after a while, you're like, go away.
Right. And so as such, they are going to need some downtime away from people. And I think everybody should have time alone in some part of their lives, because How do you know who you are if you're always around people? You don't. You gotta have some time alone. Anyways. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there was that I didn't touch on. Other than, I think the most important things to recognize as a line 4 is to be okay with knowing that you're not someone that's that needs to change a lot or be expected to change a lot, or that it's okay to understand that you can go at your own pace, or what you're comfortable with, what feels right to you. And especially if you're a 4-1, but really I think all line 4s, to know that it's important for you to kind of honor that more fixed nature, because you are meant to be a stabilizing force in your relationships. And so if you're always compromising yourself and what feels true for you, then you're not doing anyone, a solid. So you're
doing a disservice.
That's right.
You are doing.
Right. And one interesting thing they'll say about the line 4 is there's this keynote around line 4 of abdication. And that took some time for me to understand, but what it really means is, so a line 4, if they're more fixed in their nature potentially than other lines, correct? Yeah. So they know about themselves. And if you're a line 4, this will land with you. They know within themselves that there's certain, I don't know if this lines they won't cross, but there's only so boundaries far you can push them. Yeah, there's only so far you can push them. Like if they come up against people who maybe don't agree with them or don't see life the way they want to, they're not necessarily, depending on the relationship, they're not necessarily the type to keep pushing back. At a certain point, they'll just be like, okay.
So they won't get in fights on Facebook in the comment section.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Generally,
maybe. No. And then they'll be like, "No, I'm out."
Well, especially if it's a relationship that may be significant to them. The abdication piece is, you know what? They can, if they want to think that about this or whatever, they will almost pretend to agree. Like they won't sacrifice necessarily the relationship to be right in a sense. They abdicate. But I see it more of like, I understand that there are people around me that I care about that I don't necessarily agree with, but I care about them. And so I will let them have their opinions. I won't necessarily fight them on their opinions. I won't try to tell them they're wrong, and they can, if they want to believe I agree with them on certain things, it's fine. It doesn't bother me that much, but I just won't make it a point. I won't make it an issue, because I know that I'm not going to change in my point of view. I just know I'm not. And I also know I don't necessarily have to force that point of view on somebody. If they're not going to hear me, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
Because it's who I am, or it's how I see things, and they're not going to change that. So, there is a sense of, and I can see this playing out a lot where remember I told you, I said earlier, I think, I don't know if it's this episode or the last episode, that I think it was the last one. We were talking about line 3, talking about your dad. Yes. That I just don't necessarily share certain things with certain people because I can't change who I am necessarily. I can grow, I can learn, and I can shed layers, let's say, but I'm at my core, and especially with Defying G, I'm not going to change who I am.
Right.
And so if I know that the person in front of me is going to, challenge that, I just necessarily won't share it.
Yeah. You're like, it's not worth the effort to, because you know what's going to come from it. So you're like, no, I'll just keep this for myself.
And I'm beginning to understand that that might be a line 4 aspect of things, that the relationship to me is more important at times than being right, which it says in Course in Miracles. You can, you can have a miracle or you can be right, whichever one, it's like you can, fix things or you can be right, whatever you want to do. Maybe that's why it's easier for me to get along with that. I'd be like, okay, I can fix things. Okay, so I think we about covered all that. And I've been calling these a deep dive, and so I get very nervous if I've left anything out.
No, put the line 1 to bed.
Line 4.
No, I'm saying put your line 1 to bed.
Damn it. I thought I got to correct you for a minute.
No, not with my gate of correction.
No. Hey, I have one too. I have that too.
It gets me in trouble.
True. Okay, so again, line 4, stabilizing force, all about networks and their people, and here to externalize what has been learned from the lower trigrams. And there you go. So line 4.
Yeah, it's good.
I think keynotes relationships is really people and relationships and having fun. So that brings us to...
I'm not going to try drum roll again.
Incarnation Cross of the week.
We do need a little jingle.
Yeah, work on that.
Okay.
Put that on your list of things to do. All right. So today we have the right angle cross of service. Dun, dun, dun. And so maybe I will really help cement the knowledge in you of the difference between a right angle cross and a left angle cross.
I feel like we've only done left angle crosses so far.
I know.
That's what it feels like.
So a right angle cross means that they have their sun is in a line 1, 2, or 3, remember, and the 4, 6, because it's the right angle. So that means it starts a 1, 2, or 3 profile. Get it? So
okay, I'll accept it.
Yeah. Maybe when you're here in person, I'll draw you a nice little diagram.
Okay.
No. Anyway, so yes, if you have the right angle cross of service, that means that you have a more intrapersonal incarnation cross, because you are going to be someone who is the profile is going to start with a 1, 2, or 3, or you're going to have a 4, 6 profile. But so that first number of your profile is going to be a 1, 2, or 3. More introspective. So anyways.
Okay.
So the right angle cross of service consists of, in the conscious side, gate 17 and gate 18. And on the unconscious side, gate 58 and 52. Okay. So on the conscious, we have gate 17 opinions, 18 correction, which we just talked about. And then on the design side, aliveness in gate 58 and inaction in gate 52.
So we have opinions, corrections, aliveness, and what was the last one?
Inaction.
Okay.
So 58 and 52 are both in the root. 58 is what connects to 18. And that's when we've talked about correcting, like because the channel is going through up to there's a lot of mastery. It's the beginning of mastery of like what brings you alive. What do you want to correct? What do you want to master, kind of thing. So let's just get into it.
Let's
just get into the synopsis, see what shakes out. Okay, so if you have this cross, you're here to share your insights and ideas with others, helping them correct their mistakes and find the right path. You're skilled at creating positive change and improving lives. You also explore, learn, and teach about the importance of perspective in achieving personal growth. Your ability to see the bigger picture shows that making timely adjustments is crucial for your happiness. Your journey involves finding what brings you the most joy and pursuing it wholeheartedly, showing others that this pursuit is meaningful. Through your actions, you make impactful contributions that bring immense joy to the world. By teaching about joy, you empower others to embrace its transformative power. Trust in your ability to guide others towards a more joyful and fulfilled existence through your unique perspective, dedication, and compassion.
I like all the focus on joy. I need more of that.
That's what I misspoke as I started to say. The 58 aliveness, joy is actually what I meant to say, not gratitude, joy. Because as we were talking about what brings you alive, what brings you joy, how do you take because in that channel, the 58 to the 18 goes through the spleen up to the throat, the 48-16. And I know we've talked about this circuitry a lot. It is about, this is where mastery lives, the artist, the craftsperson, what is the thing they love so much that they're willing to keep refining and learning more about and have the enthusiasm to bring into the world. That's where that starts, is in that 58. So it's the cross of service. So it's, there you go.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. That's the end.
Like the end, like on a cartoon.
The end. We'll pull the curtains closed. This is the end. So it is the end. So we will say goodbye, and we look forward to seeing we look forward to bringing you yet another episode.
There we go.
Of the Human Design Hive podcast. And I know you hear it on the intro on the outro a lot, if you ever listen to the outro. But just as a reminder, if you have not already, I would appreciate you as my community out there, people, that share this podcast with someone, because you're going to help me with the message getting out there, the information we have here. You guys listening out there, all my network, my community. I love everybody out there that's listening, and share the message so you can help me in my line 4. And that way, share it with somebody you care about, or just, give us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, so more people can find out about us, help discover us. So we'd appreciate that if you do that.
Yeah.
So any last words, my dear?
No.
Nope. Okay, well then I'm going to let you have the last word as I say goodbye. So bye.
Bye.
Well, you made it all the way to the end of today's episode, so you must have liked what you heard. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and perhaps leave us a good review. And if you know someone who wants to dig into all things human design with us, make sure you share the Human Design Hive podcast with them. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.